Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Crypto Insider channel. I am the Crypto Insider, back with another cryptocurrency video for you. I apologize, it's been a while in between cryptocurrency videos, and I've got a lot of stuff going on, and I've just missed making the videos every day like I used to, or every other day. So I figured, hey, there's a lot of interesting news out there, especially over the past few months. I will make a video. So if you have not heard of me before, or you're just finding the channel, or it came up in your YouTube search, I am not a chart analyst. I'm not a race car driver. I'm not an astrophysicist. I've never designed a rocket. And I'm not a doctor. I am a guy that's worked in the fintech space for 18 years now, largely with a lot of Ripple partners, a lot of very large banking institutions. We used to call them financial institutions, or FIs. If you're in the business, you'll understand that. They're actually changing that now to FE, financial entity. I don't know the reason they went from institution to entities, but I will say that I work with a lot of financial entities that do business with Ripple, or at least have explored their various payment solutions. That doesn't make me an expert still. I don't always see everything that there is to see, but I do see more than your average person who can make a YouTube video, even though they probably should be delivering pizzas. Um, so yeah, I apologize for my absence. We'll jump into it here. We're going to start with Live Coin Watch. One of the first things I always look for is Bitcoin dominance. It's at 62.25%. I believe that it has to get down close to 50 before you really see an alt season start to pump, but you have already seen an alt season start to pump when we have a lot of strange action from these coins that I am not heavily involved with. Cardano, obviously, and Polkadot surpassing XRP, which held that third space for a long time, and I believe has the possibility to reclaim it. We'll get into that later. We're going to talk about the SEC stuff because I think that's more interesting than just looking at the price action. But I will say this. If you look at XRP year over year, and I'm going to guess that we're about 60% up from where we were a year ago. Let's 56% if you look right here. We're 56.1% up from where we were a year ago. That's with an SEC lawsuit announcement. So that means that XRP is a formidable force. I know a lot of people want to see price action. They want their asset to appreciate, and it has 60% over the last year. You would be hard pressed to find me another investment vehicle where you could make 60% in a year. I know some of the other coins are probably doing better. But I will still say and stand by that XRP is a force to be reckoned with. It's fundamentally sound, and I believe Ripple has a lot of good arguments, which we'll cover in the later articles. Bitcoin's all-time high. A lot of the XRP increase that I talked about, that 60%, could be Bitcoin raising the tide and lifting all the other boats. So I'm sure there's some of that going on. One thing that we really need to get past is the SEC stuff, so that XRP can be not relisted, but can be made tradable on the exchanges that everybody was using. And I think that would have a big impact on price. Can you imagine what our price would be right now? I said we're up 60%. Could you imagine what it would be right this moment had there not been an SEC enforcement action against the company Ripple? It probably would be pretty amazing. Stellar's reported good gains over the over the past month or two. Just about every coin has, so I'm not going to go into each one. But Link, I remember last year when I made a prediction that Link would hit $5, and I thought, oh, I hope I'm not too far out of the ballpark. I hope I'm not giving people false hope. Here it is at 25.28. So if anything, my prediction was incorrect. I'm actually way under where it hit. So I apologize for that if you sold at $5. But again, this is not to be construed as financial advice. These are just my thoughts on watching these coins for a while. We have a little bit of Tezos news, and Tezos over the past week has been showing some gains. For a long time, we were under that $3 mark. We broke it, and now we're sitting at 333. I don't know where it will go or where it will stop, but they had some good announcements just 2 days ago with their DeFi abilities being opened up. So they're going to be more interoperable with other coins because of it. I would keep an eye on Tezos, and if you want to read more about it, you can go to XTZ News, and they will tell you more about how Tezos is going to work with the other tokens and do swaps and stuff like that. So there is still potential with Tezos. I think it's going to surpass $4. I don't know when, but just so many different places are using Tezos for things. A lot of real estate is being tokenized in other countries on Tezos. There's so many different projects that are exploring or using Tezos. I think it still has solid fundamentals and an opportunity for gain. One of my pet coins that I like is HBAR, and it has increased. I remember when I first started talking about HBAR, it was 3 cents. Now we're up to 9. I think it's gone over 10. Let's look at that one and see where we were a year ago. Okay, so if you would have invested a year ago, you'd be up 400% in Hedera. Um, I want to talk just for a moment about crypto investing in general and why it's attractive to me, and probably why it's attractive to you too. It's because you can get in relatively easy without a lot of complication, and you have the ability, with the way the market's going and being at the beginning of a new market, to invest just a small amount of money and realizing gains like 400% in 1 year, 209% in 90 days. HBAR is one of these coins that's going to continue to rise, I think. It's a very solid coin. It, on its board of governance, just the companies are the biggest and best companies in the world. FIS WorldPay, Boeing, there's a few telecommunications companies. It just stellar companies. And with that sort of name behind it and them sort of pushing or advocating for it, I would expect that the only place a price can go from 3 cents is up. And that's kind of why I bought it. And if you don't invest more than you can afford to lose at 3 cents or whatever it was when I bought it, and XRP at whatever it was when I bought it, I think my buy-in is somewhere in 20 cents, 25 cents. I did lose, I did buy some XRP higher when it was probably $1, but I bought so much when it was down in that 19 or 15 cent range that I more than made up for one of those few buys. So that's kind of why dollar cost averaging is good. But the possibility of returns, high returns, is what attracts people to crypto. If you're one of these people that wasn't able to save in something like a traditional 401k or an IRA and make your 5 to 8% a year in your later in life, crypto is definitely something that you should look into, because it just beats the pants off of everything. Now, it's volatile, you can lose money too, but overall, you know, tell me in the comments what you have lost money in, and did you lose that money because you got emotional and you sold your holdings, or did you have an emergency? So we use these terms like weak hands. You see, people don't like the weak hands. Oh, the price has gone up and shaking all the weak hands out of the market, they're selling. Well, that's not necessarily true. If you've made the gain that you wanted to make and you're executing a plan and you sell, you're not a weak hand. You're somebody that's made a very determined decision. You've made a gain and you've executed your plan. Um, yes, you realize that by selling it, you could miss out on future gains, but still, I wouldn't call that a weak hand. What a weak hand is when the price starts dropping and somebody gets emotional and says, oh, I got to try to maintain this investment, so I'm going to sell and just get what I can. Now, to me, that's a weak hand. And it's a bad decision because, you're responsible for your losses if you sell at a loss. You know you're taking a loss when you sell it, and you're making that conscious decision to assume that loss. Anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent here. Let's go to some of the stories. Here's what I was talking about from XTZ News. I actually have it up here. Prelude. The Tezos beta will go live today, February 6th, subject to any unforeseen delays. I'm not sure if it did or didn't. I just found it interesting reading about the Tezos beta. And what it does is it provides a cross-chain gateway to Tezos from other blockchains, easily allowing users of DeFi apps on other blockchains to take advantage of low fees available on Tezos. DeFi, DeFi, DeFi. DeFi is the word of 2021. I said that last year. DeFi is going to be something to look out for. Decentralized finance. That's going to be the buzzword all year, probably all next year too. And so when you're looking for coins to buy, you want to, in my opinion, try not to find coins that are siloed. You want coins that are easily adaptable, your chain links, your Tezos, things that easily communicate cross-chain. Ethereum now, I would say, is pretty far there. Tezos is a cross-chain gateway to Tezex is a cross-chain gateway to Tezos. I can't speak. Pre-minted ETH, TZ, and USD TZ, and later more tokens will be available through smart contracts. People will be able to deposit ETH or US dollar coin and get these wrapped tokens in turn, which can be used in Tezos-based applications with no know your customer registration, just a simple transaction, and you're ready to engage in the DeFi. It goes on to talk about the Ethereum transaction fees compared to Tezos. So they're thinking maybe they'll get people using these swaps to use the cheaper Tezos fees, because Ethereum's pretty expensive. That's always been a problem. Um, the fees are considered by many to be outrageous. The average transaction cost on Ethereum were yesterday over $23 per transaction. Today it's even worse. The average fee on Tezos was 0.00139. So Tezos transactions are 16,000 times cheaper. And that's always been a problem with Ethereum. Arbitrage is arbitrage in the way that crypto talks about it is a way to trade on the exchange that'll net you the most favorable profit. So you can pit multiple exchanges against each other by buying from the lowest one and selling on the highest one, and that's what they're talking about there. It's a low risk, fast profit strategy. Usually, you're not gonna. Most people that I know, they get into an exchange, a Coinbase or a Kraken or a Bitrue or a Bittrex or something like that, and they'll just dollar cost average in. They're really not doing arbitrage trading. That's something that more of a market maker or a seasoned trader, would be doing. But it's possible to do, I guess, with these these new tokens and the Tezos cross-chain gateway. So I just thought that was interesting. Some good news for Tezos. Tezos is one of these coins that had a bumpy start where the founders were being sued and people were leaving, and there was a lot of very ugly situations going on, so it's nice to see it sort of overcome that past. And also, Tezos is the coin, if you're new to cryptocurrency, I'm assuming you're not, but if you are new, Tezos is the coin that stakes. So you can basically earn, I hate to call it interest, but it's like interest. In most staking uh, apps, you can stake through Coinbase, you can stake through the Ledger wallet, you can stake in Crack, you can stake just about everywhere. Most places earn between 5 to 6%. If you're not earning that, you need to check out some of the delegators on Ledger and probably move your crypto to a ledger because it's just going to be more secure. You're going to own the keys. It doesn't have to be a ledger. We are a ledger affiliate. You can see the link in the video. It's the one I use, but there are other hardware wallets out there that may be preferable to you. Um, we talked about HBAR a little bit and some of the big companies that are on the board of governance. Here's an article at Modern Readers that was posted just today by Anthony Bellafiore. HBAR is trading 18.1% higher over last week, 400% on the year, 209% over the past 90 days. If you listened to the Crypto Insider last year when I was saying buy this coin, when it was at, I don't know, 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents, uh, you've made some money. I still think there is a massive, massive potential for this coin. Coinbase has considered listing this coin. They didn't get all of their ducks in a row. The Hedera Foundation or whoever to get it listed on Coinbase, but Coinbase has given them, more time, and they're still pursuing that. And I believe probably within the next, I don't know, 6 months, a year, you'll see HBAR listed probably on Coinbase. It's just that solid of a coin. So now the part that everybody's waiting for. Is some of the SEC stuff. And we have a headline here from FX Street from Akash Giramath. Ripple's legal uncertainty dismissed by XRP whales who continue accumulating heavily. So that is interesting that the whales are still continuing to accumulate. And part of that reason is because the US is a small market. I mean, it may be the largest market for XRP, so I probably shouldn't call it a small market, but crypto is worldwide. There are huge FEs, financial entities. Remember that from the beginning of the video? Continuing to utilize XRP all over the world, where the SEC only has control in the U.S. Now, that's true, but if the SEC is taking a lot of enforcement action against a company, that could scare off international business and international investors because everybody wants to do business with the U.S. But there are, SBI comes to mind in Japan, where XRP is just well loved in Japan. They could give a stuff less about what the SEC is saying. They don't believe that it's a security. The UK has ruled that it's not a security. Ripple has a lot of good arguments on their side. One thing I thought was interesting about a couple things. One is Ripple's ODL saw 12 times year-over-year growth in transaction volumes and the addition of 15 new customers. At the same time, SBI announced the addition of XRP to the cryptocurrency lending services. XRP whales come out of the woodwork, and the interesting part here is the number of addresses holding 1 million to 10 million XRP increased roughly by 2.6 since February 1. And it could be when the SEC announced the price of XRP dropped a bit, and this is kind of corollary to how stocks work. So, if a stock for some reason is temporarily delisted or trading is halted and the price drops, that's the time where the market makers will go and try to get those deals. And that could be happening here with the whales saying, you know what, we've got this probably the last dip. It's worth our time to stock up on some. Even if the SEC stuff goes bad, we're going to stock up and just on the chance. Again, remember I said we're getting into these cryptos for a small amount, and we're trying for those big gains. So um, it could be long shot bets that some of these whales are taking, but the XRP whales are sitting in a pretty position. If they bought at these 15 and 16% levels, it probably doesn't hurt them to accumulate a little more. When the dips happen now, even though the price is a bit higher. So I thought this was a good article on FX Street. You may want to check it out, see if you agree or disagree. I don't know what your plan is with XRP as the SEC enforcement continues. Now, I am looking at the SEC charges over the XRP token. Now, I read the 77-page filing because I'm weird like that the SEC brought against Ripple. Most of the points in there, to me, appeared to me to be directed mainly at the founders, I think McCaleb and Garlinghouse, how they sold their XRP. It was not, the SEC didn't really go into a lot about how XRP is a security by itself, except to say that they have flexibility in determining what's a security. And kiss my ass, SEC, because that flexibility that you think you have in this matter is going to go out the window in court, and I'll tell you why. The SEC has already received a tidal wave of complaints from retail investors like you and I, charging that we've been hurt by this action that they've taken. So the courts, when it gets to something like this, are going to say, is the cure more fatal than the disease? You know? Even if they may think that XRP is a security, is it worth hurting millions of people to make it so? Most courts that I've ever dealt with, and I'm not a lawyer, I've ever seen, are going to try to find a middle ground or a more peaceful solution, which means that SEC, with that flexibility that they think they have, is going to probably have to compromise. So what I think you'll end up seeing is maybe some enforcement action against Garlinghouse, McCaleb, whoever else was there at the beginning that sold some XRP in a way that resembled an ICO or how you would sell a security, and they'll pay a fine, and they'll sweep this under the rug. Now, here are the arguments that you can't read a story about these SEC charges without hearing about the Howey test. Howey test, Howey test, Howey test, and how XRP doesn't meet the Howey test. The Howey test is a test that the SEC uses to determine what's a security. It was instituted in 1946, and so it's very difficult to apply to crypto because it's a weird market space. But what people don't, and this is what I've said at the beginning, Howey test is not the only test that the SEC uses. There's also something called the family resemblance test, meaning if it looks like a security and walks like a security and talks like a security, it's a security. But the SEC is in an odd legal space because they've already declared that Bitcoin and Ether are not a security. So, if XRP looks like not a security, talks like not a security, and walks like not a security, they have a very good shot with this argument of saying that, of proving that XRP is not a security. In addition, like I was saying earlier, they have all these other countries saying XRP is not a security. Now, they also have something that looks very strange of this enforcement action being taken on the last possible day of the Trump administration by, what was that guy's name? Jay somebody, Jay Segula. I don't remember all the names, but they did it on the last day they were in office, with which looks like it's not giving Ripple a chance to respond well. The acting SEC people are, who's that guy's name? Gary Gensler is more friendly to crypto, so it is possible that this is going to end up with a much quieter settlement behind the scenes than having to, having a long drawn out battle. It could be that XRP is back tradable within 6 months or a year, and it'll be interesting to see what happens to the price at that time. Is it being suppressed right now? And good news on that front will cause it to rise. I don't know. Am I completely wrong? Will it be declared a security and all the exchanges will delist it? I could be. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I just don't think so. I don't see how they can do this. They can call shenanigans on some of the stuff that Garlinghouse and the founders did, and maybe make some inroads there. But all in all, I think they're going to have trouble with this XRP as a security argument, just based off of what the SEC has done in the past, and with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and the amount of people that declaring it a security now would hurt. I don't. If it comes down to a judge, and you see this even in Supreme Court decisions, there have been a few, and I can't. They're not coming to mind right now, where they've said, yeah. This individual health care mandate in Obamacare is probably technically not constitutional, but the overall goal is to help more people than it hurts. And I don't know if that's a bad example. I was thinking of another example and then I lost it. But the Supreme Court even will err on the side of what's better for the people than what is black and white. So I think they have a good shot at getting this dismissed. Anyways, I've been talking and talking and talking for 28 minutes straight. You're probably getting sick of hearing me. Please like and subscribe. I don't put out videos all the time. If you want there to be more videos, go ahead and leave that in the comments. If you have a comment other than my mother is a this or a that, leave that in the comments. Positive, constructive. It doesn't have to be I love the video, but let's not get negative, and let's not advertise that you've made so much money off of so-and-so's portfolio. If you're a bot, chances are your comment won't get through or it'll be blocked. Anyways, have a good day. Thanks for listening, and I shall be back at some point, hopefully soon, maybe even this week. Thanks for listening.